The morning rose gently, sunlight spilling across a spotless sky while bird song drifted through the open window like a soft welcome. Everything felt calm, almost idyllic. Yet somewhere inside me, a faint unease tugged at my nerves, small, but impossible to ignore. I brushed it aside, convincing myself it was nothing. It was an important day, after all. Her sister was getting married. The venue was breathtaking, a country estate wrapped in wildflowers and towering oaks that had probably stood there for centuries. The air smelled of roses and fresh earth, and beams of sunlight slipped through the branches, scattering golden patterns across the grass. Guests wandered the gardens as if moving through a dream, smiling, laughing, drifting past in silk dresses and sharp suits. She looked stunning. Her gown was a deep, rich crimson that flowed along her body like it was made for her alone. Her hair fell in soft curls around her shoulders, and her smile lit her entire face. She held my arm as photographers captured their moments. She laughed easily, leaning into me like she used to back when things were simple. I smiled on cue, raised my glass during toasts, played the role of the devoted husband perfectly. But inside, the heaviness wouldn't leave. A tightness sat in my chest, stubborn and cold. No matter how beautiful everything looked, it felt like something was slipping out of place. The ceremony was flawless. Her sister moved down the aisle with the kind of glow that only joy can create. The vows were tender enough to bring tears to nearly everyone. Applause and cheers filled the air, and I clapped with everyone else, waiting for that uneasy knot inside me to unravel. It didn't. The reception was a masterpiece. Warm candlelight dancing on polished floors, soft jazz drifting through conversations, ivory lilies arranged with the kind of care only weddings inspire. Couples floated around the dance floor like the moment belonged to them alone. But I felt disconnected, like I was observing everything through a pane of glass. I was present, but I wasn't truly there. Then her attention began to shift. I noticed her slipping outside more often, always with her phone. Her fingers moved quickly, her expression unfocused. Each time she returned, her eyes seemed somewhere else, as though the celebration didn't matter anymore. I tried to reason with myself. Weddings can be overwhelming. Family dynamics, expectations, long hours. It could have been anything. But the anxiety inside me clawed harder. Then I saw them. Near the bar, tucked slightly away from the crowd, she stood with a man I didn't recognize. Tall, relaxed, and too comfortable beside her. Their bodies angled toward one another in a way that was unmistakably intimate. She touched his arm lightly, and they laughed together. A kind of laugh I hadn't heard from her in years, open and unrestrained. In that instant, everything inside me stilled. I understood, without needing any explanation, that a shift had taken place long before this moment. I thought back to her whispered phone calls behind closed doors, last-minute changes in plans, the growing distance even when we sat side by side. The puzzle pieces locked together. My heart dropped. I wanted to confront her, demand the truth, scream if I had to, but my body wouldn't move. I just watched. And then he kissed her. It wasn't long. It wasn't dramatic. But it was enough. Enough to shatter everything. I didn't speak. I didn't cause a scene. I simply walked away. Outside, the night felt colder than it should have. Even the garden, once glowing with life, seemed hollow. I called my closest friend, not because I wanted to talk, but because I needed to hear a voice that reminded me I wasn't losing my mind. The drive home was a blur, haunted by the image of them together. The closeness, the ease, the kiss replaying in an endless loop. When I got home, I acted on instinct. I packed a small bag with only the essentials, clothes, toiletries, a few items that still meant something. And then I sent her a message. Just 4 words that carried all the weight in the world. It's over. I'm done. She called. She texted. I ignored every attempt. Days passed. Then one evening, she appeared at my door. Flowers trembling in her hands, tears already streaking down her face. Her voice cracked as she apologized, saying she'd been confused, that she made a mistake, that she loved me, and only me. I let her say everything, each word landing like a fresh cut. When she finished, I looked into her eyes and told her the truth. She hadn't just broken my trust. She'd fractured the foundation of our entire life. She'd betrayed not only me, but everyone who believed in us. Some wounds carve too deep to ever heal, no matter how much someone begs. She reached out, but I didn't move. The weeks that followed were painful, but they were also clarifying. My friends stayed close, steady, and dependable. I found my way back to the parts of myself I had neglected. Quiet walks on open trails, losing myself in books, giving space to thoughts I'd silenced for too long. Slowly, the fog lifted. Bit by bit, my life regained rhythm. Months went by. One day, she reached out again, said she'd changed, that she finally understood everything, that she wanted to fight for us. But I didn't respond, because by then, I had found something far more valuable than getting her back. I'd found peace. That night at the wedding had broken me open, but it also released me from a life built on borrowed trust. Losing her didn't destroy me. It allowed me to rediscover who I was without the weight of her lies. I was wounded, yes, but I was free.